Hello, I'm Frost, and welcome to my in-depth guides on Age of Wonders Planetfall, where I look at the strategies and tactics that I use for each of the various factions and secret tech. And this episode is episode 1 of the Dvar using the Celestian. Okay, so we're going to pick a new planet, so let's do that straight away. And just as I'm talking along, if you're not familiar with my series, I play through a game, cut out all the unnecessary bits, and just focus on the decision making that I use throughout the game with that are particular to that particular faction and secret tech. So everything is set to default, all the default settings, so then that way we've got a stable base upon which to work and compare all of the various factions. So I'm going to select my commander. I always like to use a custom commander. This time my commander is diminutive, or Dimitri, Dimi for short for his friends. So we're going to go into Dimi, here we go, and we're going to go into customize. So as you can see, I've got the Dvar, and I get the bonus of extra energy to start with. My hurry production, which is the ability to produce items immediately, is cheaper, using firearms and explosives, and they're mostly area of effect of medium range weapons, and they're good at production, and they live in mountains. And then the Celestian is kind of an interesting one because out of all of the secret techs, it's the one that's very pacifist. Most of the bonuses and buffs and stuff that you get are either to do with relationships, specifically with NPCs. You can see that NPC diplomacy bonus there in the middle. But also the defensive. They're very, very defensive. So very different from the other secret techs. And we'll see how that works out. But because of the whole NPC diplomacy bonus, in regards to my perks, I'm going to go with the skilled diplomat because that reduces the influence cost required to bribe armies to leave sectors. And I'm going to get all kinds of different NPC bonuses with the Celestian. So it makes sense to use that as well. And then I'm going to go with the colonist cryopods, even though it's a 2.1. And the reason why I'm going for that is I find the Dvar quite difficult to expand at the beginning. And the Dvar kind of seem to really suffer early game. So anything that can give me a little bit of a boost early game in regards to expansion is going to be a good thing. And then obviously I have to have the basic equipment because I've taken the 2 points. So there you go. So let's have a quick look at Dimitri. There he is. Look, he's got a very fancy cape on him as well. That was just my taste. There we go. There's no accounting for taste, right? So let's get started. So we're going to do done. It's going to kick off and then we're going to land on the planet. So we've landed on the planet and here we are. And the very first thing that I saw was, which is great, let me zoom out, is I'm on a shoreline, as you can see right there. So that is a good start for me. And for once, I haven't started in a really mountainous sector, which is normally quite common with the Dvar. Now you can see straight away, I can annex a colony sector straight away. And the reason why is because I got the 2 colonist cryopods. And what we're going to do is we're going to look at these options. Now, obviously, I would love this. It's a level 3 research landmark. But I'm going to have to get my influence points up in order to get the forgotten that are there to move out. But that is definitely going to be on my hit list. But then I have my 2 options. So I've got, you can see here, I have Stadium Arcadium, which gives me a plus 10 happiness. And then I've got the Derelict Power Plant. Now, to be honest, the Power Plant is going to be more important to me at this stage because I get that little bit of extra energy. So what we're going to do is we're going to immediately annex that. So there we go. Then I'm going to click on my colony and we're going to pick the type of sector for the first sector of the colony. I'm getting my words mixed up. I get into the flow as I go along. Right, so central biofarm because I want to grow my capital as quickly as possible. So we're going to produce that. It's going to take 2 turns and then we're obviously going to do our skirmisher barracks and our training center. There we go. So that's taken care of. And then over the next 10 turns, the other things that I'm going to do is I'm going to send my prospector off to start prospecting sectors. Now this is specific to the Dvar, so if you're familiar with the Dvar you'll know this. You can prospect a sector and every time you do this it basically brings back some resources. That could be energy, that could be research, that could be production. It takes you longer to explore as a consequence, so normally I try and build one of these in the first 10 turns. So I've got a couple of prospectors moving around so I can start discovering my terrain around me. Then I will train up all of the basic skills needed that I can within the first 10 turns and pick up that Cosmite over there as well because I always need Cosmite early game as well. So that's the plan for the next 10 turns. I will catch up with you then, show you what I've done, and then we'll move on from there. we've now made it to turn 10, so it's time for that little bit of an update. And lots of bits and pieces have been going on. I've been going around just clearing out these sites, so I've cleared out the Stadium Arcadium and dealt with any marauders that were in the area as well, because right now I don't have any military infrastructure in place, so my militia power is very low. I have now trained up the skill in order to be able to put that infrastructure in, which is right here, the standard military infrastructure and the bombard cannons, which are the turrets which protect. So those are in my skill queue, as is a colonizer, as I will need to try and expand to up to 4 colonies as quickly as possible. And then also got a bulwark in production, and the reason why I lost one of my units doing this combat, it happens early game, so that's fine. I'm about to recruit a hero, and also I'm ready to annex a sector. So I met the Forgotten, and I had enough influence points. I think I needed 27, so they've moved out. So I'm going to be able to annex this level 3 bonus on my research, so that's absolutely great. My Prospector, as you can see, has been moving around. I've got a spawner nest here that I'm going to probably have to deal with. But in the meantime, I've already done that one. So what we'll do is we'll send him a little bit further along. I've done the reservation drift as well, I think. So we'll send him up here. There we go, that's the next turn. To do some more prospecting. But what we can look at now is we can look at the research trees. So as you can see, I've done all my basic ones, perimeter security, which gives me a fortification tool for my trenches, which is really useful. And Iron Breaker is a melee attack, which bypasses 3, so that also can be very good for not so much the trenches, but these guys, the foremen, as they have a kinetic punch, and so you could put it on those guys. Now coming back to that, we've also then got our first Celestian skill. So as you can see, this one just gives us a shield and is immune to negative morale effects. And then we've also got a strategic operation called Cleansing Light, which is a healing skill. So what we're going to do now is we need to research our next one. And the first thing I'm going to go up to is I'm going to go and get my ramjets, as those are a pretty good unit. Once again, they've got both a melee attack, which is the aerial ram, and they've got the rockets as well, which are pretty effective. So what we'll do is we'll make that our next training for our military. And then for our society, as you can see, I first of all did frontier facilities, then I did my exploitation campaign, and then my area surveillance, so that I can get my operation effectiveness, which is the next thing that I'm going to train, so I can use those strategic operations. So that's kind of really key. Then I've been able to enable a doctrine, so I'll set research on that. And my choice of doctrines were Native Displacement Act, which reduces the cost of moving armies, which at this point is not so critical as this one, which is revised safety regulations. What this does is it drops the cost of building structures in my colonies by 20%. Now, as at the beginning of the game, I'm building a lot of structures, whether that's annexing sectors and getting bonuses on those sectors, or building things like the military infrastructures and bombard cannons. That's going to be really important. So that is the doctrine that I've enacted. So I've got my hero joining now as well. But more importantly is over here, I found Uzuar, which is another Dvar colony. And I'm going to need 45 influence points in order to be able to take that colony. So I'm going to finish off this quest over here and deal with this quest and deal with these e-bots. And then hopefully by then I'll have acquired enough influence points to swing my prospector back to go and get that colony on board. And then I'll be up to 3 colonies with my colonizer that's coming in a couple of turns. And I estimate my colonizer, I'll probably put it over here, and I'll probably focus on research, as there's another research bonus node up there. And there's a couple of good sectors there. So that's the plan. And also I get a bonus for influence over here as well, which would be handy to get. But that's for later on. And then my hero, do we get any skills with this hero? Let's recruit him. And I think, no, we've got no skill points. We could probably put some mods on him, but we'll do that later. I would rather put the mods on other units. So what I'm going to do is, just for now, I'm going to send him up here and just do this site. I'll make it an extra nice little weapon. It's going to tie him up for 3 or 4 turns, but that's worth it. And then what we'll do is we'll start thinking about modding our guy here. So we're going to give him the flechettes. There we go. So our spike gun goes up to 20. And we're going to give him the tenets of tranquility, so he gets that extra shield. So let's do that. And that's 16 of my cosmite used. And then my trenchers, we definitely want the flechettes, so that we get a status effect on that. Yeah, we get a status effect and a +10 bonus. And then we want our fortification tools. And have I got enough? Yeah, we can also put the tenets of tranquility on there and give them shield. So as you can see with the Celestian, all your bonuses to defense are all shield bonuses, which is kind of nice for the Dvar, because the Dvar are mostly armor, so it kind of gives them a mix. So we're going to mod those guys. And then what we've got left? We've got 28 left, so I'm doing pretty good. So our foreman, what we're going to do is we're going to give him the Iron Breaker modification, which gives us that bypass of armor and the 10% damage on all abilities. And we might as well put the tenets of tranquility. So I normally use mod 3 for my protection bonuses, so that I can kind of focus on what is what. There we go. And we'll leave our prospector, I think. For now, I'll leave those for the hero a little bit later on, that cosmite. Okay, so that's the plan. I'm going to move over, deal with these E-bots, these Emmas, and then hopefully we'll be able to grab Uzar, and I will come back to you in a few turns once I got a better idea of where we move from there. Turn 16, and where we're at with turn 16 is I've now got my new colony down called Leninsk, and as you can see, it is not quite attached to Uzar, so there's that one gap limit between them, so that was a great place to put it. Unfortunately, I lost my prospector over here to some marauders, but I met the Vanguard, so I bumped into the Vanguard already. Her name is Aya, and then for some reason I've met with the with Toku, with the Kyoko, and I have no idea where he is, but we started off on pretty bad terms, so I had to use a little bit of my influence to keep him sweet, but I can't see him on the map, so I'm not quite sure where he appeared from, but we'll figure that out later. One thing though is that I have noticed down here there is another settlement here, and I don't know whether that's an NPC faction, or whether it's like the Forgotten or someone like that, or if it's actually a colony that I can acquire. So I've got a prospector heading over there. I'll do a little prospect to that sector on the way back, I think, because I want to get down there as quickly as possible and see if that's a colony that I could potentially acquire. Now, because I lost my other prospector, I've had to take my army down here to Uzar. But as you can see, I can get this node right here, which is a forgotten base. So what we're going to do is, and it's only going to cost me like 11 influence points. So we're going to take that. There we go. And we get a nice little production bonus. So we'll take that reward. And then we'll move over to Uzar. And on the next turn, I can get that for 45, and I have 50 influence. So that's going to work out really well. And that means that I'll get my third colony up and running. And then I've got to decide where to put my fourth one. Now, I'd like to put it up here on the end here, where it's kind of, so everything is grouped together. But I will need to clear that. And right now there's some marauders in there. So I'm going to need to build some more units at some point. I'm busy doing a quest that's going to give me a golem. So that's okay. So that's going to help. But eventually I'm going to need to build up a second army so that I can expand in another direction, whilst my main guy Dimitri is over here dealing with Uzar. Then in terms of the skill sets, so I've done all my tier 1s. I then did penance, which gives me a skill that gives me some extra vitality, a mod should I say. And also any attacker that attacks can get soul burn, which basically reduces their morale. So that's pretty good. Then I've done enhanced payloads. That's next on the agenda. And that gives me another status effect, which gives me blinded and a 10% bonus. And obviously now I've got my ramjets as well. I'm not going to bother with drudges because I don't need this very long. These are strategic operations and they're not really that important for me. And I will be moving up to here and probably doing like the DVR Mark IV upgrades, which will come on to, which give me extra bonuses to armor and things like that, and gives me another technical operation, and then maybe do luminance so that I can start getting some Celestian units in. So that's the plan for that. And then over here, it's all business as usual. I've not worried with aquatic deployment because I don't need it at this stage. And there's no point wasting turns on that when later on I can get it in one turn. So I'm doing my food development, and then my energy development, then production, then research. I've got my covert infiltration. I got that as a quest bonus, so that's great. I now have my operational effectiveness, and because of my operational effectiveness, for now I've deployed the Native Displacement Act, because at the moment I don't have any other doctrines that I can implement, so I might as well make use of it, which is why I'm getting that cheap movement of like 6 influence to move the people out of Aeon Shrine. Once I get into my society research, the one I do want is right up here. So once I've completed production and research, I will do Celestial Rain, and then I get a plus 10 damage bonus to any attack I do on a non-enlightened unit, which is great because that applies to all of my units. So that is a good one to have, and then when that comes up, then I will switch them over. So that gets me up to date, and I will get back to you once we're a little bit further into the game. I've now made it to turn 21, and I've made a few more decisions. Just as a recap, Leninsk has now acquired another sector, and as you can see, my prospector at the moment is busy working his way up to here so that I can free up this resource node, which is going to give me some extra research. Now, if you remember, I said I was going to use some of those Celestian, that plus 10 bonus to damage. I'm going to wait a little while because I can acquire this for 6 influence points, and then over here there is an Imperial Defense turret which I can then use in all my colonies, and that'll be pretty handy, and that's only 8 as well. So for the time being, just while I'm clearing these out, it makes sense for me to keep that, and then I'll get my plus 10 damage bonus doctrine a little bit later. I've recruited another hero now, so that's good. So the army of power is up to 770 now, and I'm not in a position to add mods because I don't have enough Cosmite, but I'm building at least another prospector, which I fill up my ranks a little bit, because I want to clear up this node down here so that I can get my energy bonus. Now, there was another colony down here, and I took my prospector down here and grabbed it, and it was a Dvar one as well, which is really handy. But I'm concerned because my militia is only at 500, and there is a spawner right here with an army power 742. So what I've done is I've put military infrastructure right at the top of my list, and I'm going to use the buy now, the hurry up production. And even though it's going to cost me most of my energy, I would rather not lose this colony so early in the game. So I'm going to do that, and then that's going to push up my militia up to 760 now, which is in a much better position than it was before. So with tactical operations, I would be able to handle this. So a decision I didn't want to make, but I'm going to have to. At some point as well, I may build a forward base in Farmer's Orchard, just so that I can break through this line of volcanic here and then create a road all the way through so that I got some reasonable movement around all of my colonies. So that's the plan there. In terms of the Celestial Range, you see there's still 4 turns away, and in fact I get an extra doctrine slot, so I can then use that extra doctrine slot for my Celestial Judgment, so that works out really well. I've now trained up all of these skills. Then after that, the one I will be going for will most likely be colony infrastructure, so that I can get that Cosmite, because Cosmite is something I'm really, really short of. And then I may go straight down to operational effectiveness. So we'll see a little bit further along. And then on my military, like I said, I've done my DVR Mark IV upgrades, but I can't really use them at the moment because I don't have enough Cosmite. So I'm training up the Luminance, because a Lightbringer doesn't cost me any Cosmite, and he's quite a powerful little unit. So I'll get that in 4 turns. And I think that brings me up to date. So I'm bringing my army back, and I'm moving him all the way up here towards the Glowing Gift, as I want to try and clear out these 2 sites here, and then eventually drop in a colonizer so that my colonies are then all around this kind of central area. So that's the plan. That's where I'm at so far. And then at some point we'll try and get some manual combat in as well, so I can show you the various units in action and how I go about fighting with the Dvar. We've now progressed to turn 27, and I have some concerns. So the reason why is I've been expanding, and what I've been doing is that most of the first sectors that I've been annexing, contrary to what you think you would do with the Dvar, I've been doing food rather than production. So what it means is that my production at the moment is very poor in all my colonies. So I've only got plus 90 in Narovink, I've got plus 65 in Leninsk, I've got same, I think, plus 65 in Uzuar, and I have plus 65 in Brocken. So I can produce units, but slowly, but in lots of different places. So I've been making sure that I've got things like, as you can see here, my military skirmisher barracks and my training center. I've been trying to build these in all of my colonies, because the way I've been going is that normally it's quite difficult to expand with the Dvar. So I've been trying to make sure I get myself lots of territory, and then now every time one of my colonies expands, especially now that I've got food, I'll be able to expand quite quickly. I'm going to be annexing nothing but production sectors to try and boost up my production rate. Now, my standings with the Vanguard are not good. And you can see Aya's right here. She's got like a fair stack of armies here, and I can't compete with her. My main army is only like 1,000 in power at the moment. And I think my other one, which has got 2 heroes in it, which I've now lost, who's around here somewhere. Where are you? There you go. Has got also 1,000. So if we look at the victory conditions, you can see my might capability is only 3 out of 6. So both the Kirko and the Vanguard have more than me at the moment. So that's something that I need to rectify, and I need to do it soon, because otherwise, once we get to about turn 35 to 40, then things start to heat up and we start to nudge against each other. So I've got to be very, very careful, and I'm now going to be focusing very much on building up my production. I've been completing all these various quests and using my influence points to get things that I need. And now it is a case of very much going towards production. So I will catch up with you in a few turns, and we'll see how that plays out. As I mentioned, things were going to heat up. It happened a little bit sooner than I thought. So Aya, for some reason, decided to declare war on me. And that is a problem, because she has a border very close to mine. And as you can see, she's already deployed some armies and has a power of 984 and a power of 1096. So that's fairly even. But obviously all of my armies are down here at the moment, and I may lose Uazar. So the thing that I'm going to have to really focus on now is building up my infrastructure as quickly as possible, so that I can make sure that I try and wear down her units. So I'm not going to go on the offensive to start with. I'm going to go very much on the defensive, and we're going to see how that plays out. The first thing that I can do is, because that cost defense turret, I can activate that. So we'll do that now, and then that will protect my colony to some degree. But unfortunately, because there's no real sectors around it, it's not going to have that much of an effect. But we're going to pull everything back, and we're going to bring things up to Uazar. But before I do that, I need to do a hazard removal here. And remove this Void Storm, because I want to grab this sector, not only as a production sector for Brockgan, but also for this Cosmite that's right here that I'm going to be able to take. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to run back up to Uazar. And the good thing is that I have got accelerated force deployment coming in 11 turns, but it's going to be quicker than that once I complete Operation Effectiveness. But at least with Operation Effectiveness, I'll be able to get another doctrine, get more tactical operations, and hopefully use some covert ops, possibly, because I'm really short on energy as well. And being in a state of war is not going to help. Building these military infrastructures takes up energy to keep them running. So I need to be aware of that. And so once I've got the Cosmite and all of these built, then I need to really focus on making sure I get some energy. So I could really do with an energy siphon, but that doesn't come till espionage, which is quite a way away. So got my work cut out, but we'll go on the defensive in Uazar, and we'll see how it plays out. Turn 35, and things have come to a head. So Aya decided that she didn't want to attack Uzuar, went over towards Leninsk. I managed to get my units up there in time, and she then circumvented those and is heading towards my capital city, and looks like she's going to try and attack this sector. And the good thing is my Operation Effectiveness has just literally finished training up. So we're just going to add the next one into this queue, which is going to be Counter Ops, because that's going to probably come in pretty handy at some point. I'm going to need that internal purge for certain. So we're going to get that underway. I have my Dawn of the New Union research, so I can recover my heroes. Unfortunately, I could hire this hero, but he's going to cost me 200 and I only have 394 at the moment. So I could bring him into battle, but then I may not have enough for the tactical operations. So my army powers are at 1100, almost 1200 and 1200, so 2400. And Aya's at 1000 and 1000. And I've got another unit here that I can bring in. So we are going to go in and we're going to attack. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop that one there, I think. Then I'm going to get my commander into position. Now I don't know if my militia is going to be dragged in. If my militia gets dragged in, then I should be fine. So let's do that. And now an attack. Right, so I have an advantage, but not much of an advantage. So there's no militia involved. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do an auto combat. Now, in fact, should we just do manual combat? Let's do manual combat because then, you know, this will be a good example of a good little battle going on. So let's see how this plays out. Right, so I've got it speeded up a little bit. Okay, so they've got one heavy unit golem there. Okay, the main thing with the Vanguard is they have good range and they have excellent overwatch as well on their troopers. But I have pretty good range as well. Not quite as good as the Vanguard, but not bad. Okay, now look at this. I have my armies on both sides. So, great for a pincer movement, but if any of them get weak, then I'm going to run into some issues. So, I think what we're going to do is I think I'm going to pull downwards and stay away from these units up here and just try and take... Yeah, because the bikes move pretty quick anyway. So the bikes will be able to catch up if I move north. So I'm better off just trying to go south and attack on both sides on the bottom and then move up as a whole unit. So that's the plan. And we're going to start moving our units. We're going to move them as quickly as we can on the first turn. I think that's going to be the best move. We're going to be able to move you... Come on, there we go. And just get an overwatch up there. Then my hero, we're going to move him down as well, and then we'll be able to put him in at least a defense mode for now. Or can I get the seismic charge to... No. So what we'll do is we'll put him into defense mode. There we go. All right, our little guy, we're going to move as far down as we can early on. All right, my trenches, there's no point in them becoming entrenched at this point, so let's just try and get our units as far forward as we can. So let's get my hero down the back. Right, and then these guys, we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So can my... Right, okay, so my hero's going to come... You can actually get a shot in as well. So I'd rather put him into defense mode though. So we're going to put him under cover here. And hopefully it's going to split their units. We're going to see how this plays out. We can move these guys further forwards. And we're going to incentivize... No, we're going to put them in defense mode for now. I think we'll do the incentivize afterwards. But let's have a look. These are my trenches. So let's move the trenches forwards. Let's do that. So we move the trenches forwards, trench them in, put them into defensive mode, and then we'll get these guys to incentivize. I really shouldn't have moved them quite so far forward, to be honest, but we'll deal with that when the time comes. These are trenches as well, but they're all the way at the back. So I'm just going to move them forwards and not have the defense mode. Get our bulwark in and get a good overwatch going there. I've got to be careful of these guys. These guys I think are going to come and grab me from the side. And we're going to move him forwards as well. Okay, alright, so let's do that. Oh, hang on, there's someone else that gets to enter defense mode, these guys. And there we go. Right, so obviously we've got our tactical operations. We've got 8 of them, and we have enough energy to be able to use them. Alright, now that's interesting. Now they're moving up. So they are trying to group together. There we go. I said those troopers are going to be an issue. Okay, they went for my guys in the trench, so that was good. Okay, that was an awful autocannon. Okay, so we've just got this Harrier to deal with. And he did pretty good. So, you know, I managed to get a few shots on the Overwatch there, so that's excellent. Okay, so ideally I want to stay away from melee units if I can. But there aren't many in the Vanguard, so Okay, so at least their shots are not really landing on track at the moment.
Operations ready.
Okay, so we're going to decide what we do from now. So it looks like we're going to have to fight 2 battles here by the looks of it. I'm going to have to take out this bird. Oh, he's gone down. He got taken out by the Overwatch. So that's excellent. So I'm going to have to work on these troopers, I think, and then try and rally up and then save these guys afterwards. So I'm going to have to bring my golem forwards and then try and flank. Okay, so let's look at our tactical operations, see what we've got. So we have Spirit Flash, just causes soul burn, but it hits on a 2-hex unit. But nothing's very close together there. Everything gets alert protocol, allows them into defense mode. We get a breach protocol. All right. Okay, that makes them easier to hit. Target. Okay, so the shredder bomb is really my best option, but everything is pretty far apart. But I want to try and get rid of these bikes early on. So what we'll do is I think we'll go with the shredder bomb. I get that option with the shredder bomb. Or I get the time on target, which is a 3. But I can only get one of these on there. And there's a 1-hex radius. Right, what we're going to do is we're going to use that. And then we're going to move 1 space out of the way to leave space for my golem. So we'll get the autocannons in. There we go. Really what I want to do is stagger this unit because it's in defense mode, so I should have... Can I can't do anything that's going to be able to do a stagger, unfortunately. So actually what we do is we'll do a dive under and we'll come out here. And then at least we get a flanking shot. There we go, that's going to work a lot better. Okay, so we can toss a bomb with our little guy here. Excellent.
Enemy eliminated.
Now we can see if we can. I'm gonna decisions. Okay, that's the hero. So I'd much rather move him forwards 1, get him under cover for now, and then we'll get a defensive shot in. We'll get an energy drain, an essence drain, which then frees up. And then I'm right on the edge of the map. Okay, so what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to dig in with these guys. There we go, we're going to dig in and we're going to get a shot with the spike gun. And then we are going to bring our hero. Once again, my hero can't get down there, so we're going to have to concentrate on that guy. So what we'll do is we'll go forwards. The bomb's not going to do that much damage. I have the ability to burrow, but I don't want to burrow and get close to their golem. Right, so let's focus on these guys. We're going to keep these guys entrenched. And we're going to entrench these guys here. And we're going to try and stand our ground. That is a much better option with the Dvar. So we get a spike gun shot there. So we get an 85% shot. And then we're going to put the bulwark into Overwatch. We're going to bring these guys a little bit forwards so that when they advance we can get them with a bomb. And for now we're just going to hold tight. We're not going to be able to get a bomb to these guys that's going to make much of a difference. So we're going to leave him under cover for now. We're going to try and keep him protected. There we go. Pop him over there. Can I reach for the bomb? Oh, I can still toss the bomb from there, so that's good. And I've got some cover. Okay, and these guys can get a spike shot in. It's not a good odds. Oh, I forgot about the bees up the top. Got to be careful of these bees. So they can't, can I get within shot with the bees? I can. So let's tuck in here. And I get a 20% chance with 33. I'll take the 33 and try and take the units out. And he missed. Okay. Alright, well, at least the autocannons should take him out. So that's the turn ended. At least these guys are still quite far away, so I'm minimizing the amount of units that are attacking me. So they used the nanite injectors and wasted them, so that's good. Right, the hero's coming in for a flank. Alright, I'm in a trench with my hero, which is good. So that's going to help me protect. Right, so my units on the right here, I think, are in a much better position than the ones on the other side. So I think I'm going to have to go and come to their rescue later on. Right, so I've lost my 2 perspectives. That's not so bad right now. Okay, now we get... I still don't have this enough essence charges. Now, what I'll do is I get a flank. Now, that's a great shot, so we're going to take that. Okay, we actually destroyed him, so that's superb. We'll get a flank on here as well, shouldn't we? Okay, I'm worried about these troopers. Oh, I can get a 35, a 41, and a 49. I will take that. We're going to take the easiest one. He's not getting his energy drained, so that's not helping me. I've got the seismic charge. So if I move out of my trench, I can get a seismic charge on these guys, or I can just go for a shot. So I've got an 85%. So let's try and get rid of this part. And then my hero... Yeah, we're going to get these guys to shoot the spike gun first. So we'll get these 2 guys to focus on this trooper, and they missed. So we'll get a shot in here. I still have my operations as well. So what I can do is I can use these, either the general alert protocol or the breach protection. We'll use the general alert protocol, and that allows these guys to get into defense mode. So we'll do that, because they're my most likely targets. Right, now over here, we're going to focus on... So we give them burning with the bomb. And do I need to heal anybody? No, I should be able to keep my heal for later, I think. Right. Wow, that was pretty. Okay, so spike gun, 90%. Absolute definite. And we got a crit hit. Perfect. Next, we'll do a spike gun on these guys. Good.
Enemy destroyed.
And autocannons. My autocannons are really hit and miss at the moment. Sometimes they're doing great, sometimes they do really poorly. Okay, I'm seeing an overwatch here, but it's my guys, I think. That's okay. Right, so what we'll do is we'll come round and get a flank shot. That'll be better. And they missed as well. Okay, so these troopers hopefully shouldn't take out any of my units on this turn. We've still got a little bit of time before these guys all come over. So let's end our turn. I still have 2 points left of tactical operations. Okay, so you saw the troopers over there use their nanite injectors. But we can take advantage of that, as we have so many units attacking them. Okay, the heroes decided to do something. Okay. I got myself in a real pickle here because I thought I would be able to move out, and it's making it very difficult for me to maneuver around things. So let's get critical hit there. He's in his trench, so he's going to be fine. He's protected. So now, yeah, this hero is going to be constantly causing me problems. So I'd rather, yeah, let's do this. Let's dig in behind the hero. Then if they try and take shots at me, then they'll be hitting hopefully the hero. We get a flank shot as well. Then we get the autocannons. Okay, we're going to wear this guy down. And now we're going to get no line of sight. So we're going to come out of our trench, which is destroyed anyway. Get the spike guns in. We're just going to throw everything at this hero. Okay, we got a crit hit. So close. All right, so what I'm probably going to do is I'm going to use my tactical operation. Now, everyone can survive a hit from this guy, so we're not going to waste it. We are going to use... Let's see, we've got the advanced munitions predictions, which gives me a +1 range, +25 damage, and massive attack for 2. Right, what we're going to do is we're going to use that on our hero. And then we should be able to do quite... So we'll move up so we get a much better chance of hitting these guys. So they're blurred, so that's what's causing the issue. So we're having problems hitting them. So what we'll do is we'll do a melee attack. Can we do a melee attack? There we go. So we'll flank. Do the melee attack. And now they're out of... Now I can just throw everything at them. Okay, autocannons. Come on, work for me this time. There we go. Oh, not quite. Okay. One more shot. And we got a crit. Okay, good. So
Enemy
that's that side
annihilated.
taken care of. So we can get all of these guys on towards this hero. And hopefully we'll be able to stand our ground here long enough to get reinforcements. In fact, we may want to try and bring them round. So bring them underneath while still shooting at the hero. And give some support to our guys over on this side. Okay, but you can see, but mostly with the Dvar, you know, you kind of sit tight. You try and trench yourself in and let the enemy come to you. But like I said, with the Vanguard, because they have good range, that's normally much harder to do. See, these troopers are constantly just being able to shoot us from range. Okay, now he's finally got his essence charge. So we'll do an entropy decay. There we go. So we can take out the hero. And now we can take him out with one shot. Come on, 40%. Not quite enough. Okay, what we'll do is we'll use the autocannons, 30%. Right, let's just try and go point blank here, I think. And we can use the seismic charge, which should give me the ability to do the damage. Is that going to do it? No? Okay, I could have thought the seismic charge was going to do damage. Well, at least I can see him now, so there we go. We'll see her, sorry.
Enemy hero killed.
Okay, was that the commander, or was that the hero? We need to trench these guys in, I think. So we're going to move forwards one. We're going to trench in. And we're going to take a shot. Okay, my hero's not looking too healthy. But I think we'll be able to recover from this. So what we're going to do is we're going to heal. We're going to heal our hero. And then I should be able to, I think it's 3-turn cooldown on the, it's a 2-turn cooldown, but I can't use it just yet. But I'm still going to move them forwards. I'm going to move them forwards under cover. And I get a pretty good shot at the golem there, so we're going to take that. And then hopefully on the next turn we'll be able to hunker down again. So where can I go? Yeah, I can go still here with cover. And I can get a spike shot in. It's 55, but... Well, I tell you what, my trenches are doing a lot better than my bulwark, which has been very disappointing so far. Right, we'll move him forwards. We get a 50% chance. Yeah, but we're going to focus on the golem rather than putting the overwatch on because I don't want it to trigger on the hero. I'd rather try and get this golem taken care of. So we'll move as far forward as we can. 40% chance, but we've got a crit. Good.
Enemy
Okay, so the
killed.
golem's down. We're getting there. We are making progress. All right, I think we're going to get this. If I can do this without any more losses, that would be superb. Now, I mean, the main thing is going to be try and take that hero down. Okay, we've got a 30% chance there at the moment. Right, so let's get this golem a lot closer. And unfortunately, we've got the blur going on again. So the chances of me hitting these troopers is pretty small. So I'm going to focus on the pug. So what we're going to do is we're going to give ourselves some cover from this guy. And we're going to shoot on the pug. As he can reset cooldowns. Then we're going to move the hero right up as well. Let's move him a bit quicker. There we go. And we get a 60% chance with the spike gun. And then move over to the side. 90% chance, and we get a crit. Not quite enough to take him out. Right, so I'm going to bring these guys out and hopefully they can land the final shot on a 45%. Yeah, okay, good.
Enemy
So we
destroyed.
didn't worry about the troopers. We would have wasted a lot of time trying to get them because they were blurred. So now we can now try and get up to this hero. See, now I've got my my fortifications again. But because he's high up, I can't get undercover and get a fortification. So I'm going to have to move up to here, fortify. At least I get a good shot with the spike gun. So we'll take that. And then we're going to try and run around the other side with the hero. Oh, sorry, I wasn't meant to click the hero, but we'll take that shot. That's fine. I've actually given myself an extra space to put the hero in. So I think we're all good. How far can we move these guys up? Okay, we can move them to there. We might as well hunker down, get ourselves entrenched, and take a pot shot, 85%. All right, looks like we might be able to take out this hero on this round. So if I get him to there, I get a clear shot. Yeah, there we go. All right, so that's another hero down. And now we can move these guys up as far forward as we can to try and get some assistance on these troopers. There we go. Okay, right, so if we lose this golem, it's not the end of the world. Oh, that was sneaky.
Unit destroyed.
That was very sneaky. All right, so it's 75%, and we got a crit. We're going to move our hero in over to this side. I should have used the dug under. I could have dug under and come up behind. I didn't think of that. All right. So this guy's got to dig in. Can we come up behind them? Yeah. So let's drill down. Come up around behind. And get a flank shot. Good. Much better. And see if we'll get 3 shots if we do it from here. So one of these has got to land, right? There we go. We're shooting our own people. There we go, finally. One missed shot, shot my hero, but he was all right. Okay. Well, there we go. So, overall, that wasn't too bad. We lost 2 prospectors and a trencher. That could have been a lot worse. So I'm very, very happy with that result. So Elijah and Anya and Mara. So it wasn't the hero. It wasn't the commander. So the commander must... Oh, the commander's there. So I think the time now is to turn the tide and attack back because there's still some more armies here, so I may need to send a prospector out. But I'm going to head back and see if we can get our own back on Aya. But I think we're going to leave that for the next episode. All right, I think it's a good time to wrap up. We've covered a lot of different things. I hope you've enjoyed that. Please subscribe if you're enjoying these kinds of videos. I have lots of them. And I produce material on a regular basis. Give me a like if you enjoyed it. You can dislike too, that's all good. And also, I am now on Twitch. So Wednesdays and Saturdays. Saturdays is normally my Planetfall day. Wednesdays is other sci-fi games. Come and join me on Twitch. Description is there. See you soon. Thank you for watching. Take care. Bye.